Hi there. Do you have diabetes and practice fasting or skip certain meals on purpose? Are you curious about intermittent fasting but afraid and not sure if you should try it because you take insulin or are type 1 diabetic? Well, I'll go over how fasting is optimizing my blood sugars, how I do it, and why I keep doing it. There's quite a bit of information out there on intermittent fasting and how it benefits health. There's some info on type 2 diabetes and the benefits, but this video is different because I talk about fasting with type 1 diabetes from a personal perspective. My name's Trevor. I've had type 1 diabetes for 42 years now, actually over 42 years. I've raised 2 type 1 kids and worked in the field of diabetes education. I hope to save you time managing your diabetes by sharing useful things I've learned along my diabetes path. Might as well save you the time, right? Now keep in mind this is not medical advice. It's simply information and insights from my 42 years plus of living with type 1 diabetes. Please consult your medical team if you want to make any changes. So why fast? Well, we're basically designed as humans to fast. Our ancestors did not have immediate access to the foods we have 24-hour access to. They didn't have the option to walk to 7-Eleven or 24-hour convenience store on the corner at 2 a.m. for a snack. The fasting was necessary for survival. You had to function while fasting. It's also cultural, religious, and still is to this day, involving long periods between meals. So research shows very promising results in type 2 diabetes for weight management and improved glycemic or blood sugar control and response to insulin. The research on type 1 diabetes and fasting is a bit more limited, with about 7 studies completed overall. They found with these studies that there's no adverse reactions from fasting, such as hypoglycemia or diabetic ketoacidosis. And in some studies, people either lost weight or lowered their average blood sugar. A recent study done by Dr. Chris Diabetic, a professor of nutrition, which I'll put a link in the description below, suggests that time-restricted eating, aka also known as intermittent fasting, would be safe and effective for those with type 1 diabetes, and is currently working on a pilot study to investigate further based on that study, and then hopefully they can scale it up. So remember, this is not medical advice, simply my journey and me sharing information. Please consult your doctor and medical team when changing your diabetes. So why I chose to fast as a diabetic? Well, it's easy to stay in range with newer basal insulins and pumps. It's easier to fast with newer technology like continuous blood glucose monitors. That way you have constant access to your blood sugars 24/7. Easy to stay in range during the fasting phase due to not having food being converted to glucose. One less variable to manage as a type 1. Let's face it, stress, dosing, activity, and the billion other things we must consider every minute of the day. So eliminating food as one of those variables for a chunk of time, it's stress reduction for me. So can I fast as a type 1 on insulin or a type 2 on insulin? This is very individual based on your diabetes situation. So your medical team should be able to help you with this. But for myself, I fast 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes more, and have my last meal at around 7 p.m. and I break my fast around noon the next day. So as mentioned above, it's easy to stay in range when not challenged with the meal that typically spikes blood sugars after eating. So I love sleeping for blood sugar control for that reason too. It's an ideal time period to clock time in range. Seriously, why not sleep and fast all the time? Well, then I'd have to get up and go to my job, I suppose. It's not gonna work. But anyway, so how do I do it as a type 1? I'm gonna say it again. I say it in all my videos. Test, and test some more. And in my case, use a CGM or continuous glucose monitor. I'm glad that research is being done to look at type 1 and fasting. As a type 1, we should be able to do pretty much anything other non-diabetic folk can do, except make insulin, of course. It's never held me back as a diabetic, but knowing it's effective and not harmful makes me feel more comfortable doing it. Work with the team to adjust doses, but honestly, if your long-acting basal insulin is tuned in and correct, intermittent fasting for me was pretty easy because mine was. Ensure you have fast-acting carbohydrate, like dextrose tabs, all the time, and break your fast to flow. The reality is, as a type 1, staying in range, not going well is very challenging. If you had an active day or a bout of exercise the previous day, this may cause a low. I also eat a high-protein meal the night before the fast. It fills me up, slowly releases glucose into the blood for many hours after you meal. Most importantly, work closely with your health team. I know I've said it a billion times already in this video, but please do. You may need to adjust your medications in this. So if you're a type 1 like me, hit the mic, ensure your basal rates are tuned in on your pump or long-acting insulin. If not, it is unsafe to fast. Well, it will result in out-of-range blood sugars. So watch videos like mine, just kidding, but please do. Keep an eye on the source and don't believe everything on the internet. So thanks for watching. Please hit the like button, kind of helps my channel, and leave comments. I love comments. It'd be nice to know what other people do if you're trying fasting as a type 1. And please check out my latest videos here. Bye for now.